Hello and welcome to another On Deck Baseball product summary. Today we're going to be talking about the newest version of On Deck Baseball, On Deck Baseball Pro. This is the version of the game that brings in those teams and players that you guys idolized from throughout the game's history. And we're going to be talking about the starter set for On Deck Baseball Pro. As you can see in front of you, you have 3 collectible boxes here. Boxes will be randomly sent out with the sets that you guys purchase, and that goes for all the sets within the On Deck Baseball Pro game. As you can tell, the boxes have artwork on the top and the bottom. Nice little roll the dice on history side panel, logos from throughout. And you'll notice that on the inside, they will come with your instruction manual, dice, and cards. You'll see that all of these, even though they're different boxes, they will come with the instruction manual, dice, and cards. So we'll take a look at the boxes first, just to show you what you guys get. We've got a nice image here, Cincinnati. Pretty sure you could probably make out who that player is. And then on the back, we have Forbes Field. This is not the home run that everybody thinks it is. This actually happened in Game 6, this image, I believe. But this is a nice box, nice color combinations there. Next box we have is actually Brooklyn Robins, before they changed their name. On the back, another player that I'm pretty sure is easily recognizable from the back. Same logos and catchphrase there. And this is the box that we're going to be diving into. So this box shows off the different teams that are used within the On Deck Baseball Pro universe. Those teams are not necessarily contained in this box, as like I said, the boxes are randomly sent out and collectible. We have the one-game playoff from 1978 between New York and Boston on the back. And we're going to go ahead and dive into this set and show you what's contained inside. When you order sets, the sets contained within the box will be shown off on a label at the front. So in the On Deck Pro Starter set, you're going to be getting a playoff replay couple of teams with the 1975 championship game between Cincinnati of the National League and Boston of the American League. And then you're also going to get some history's best of the best teams. You're going to be getting 1939 New York AL, 1985 St. Louis NL, and 1969 New York NL, and the 1979 Pittsburgh NL teams. The way it works is playoff replays. You will get the entire postseason roster for those teams. So it is about 25 players for each team. And the history's best of the best, you will get the 22 most qualifying players for those teams. That is to say there will also be some surprises throughout. So you may get a couple extra players here and there. First, we're going to go over the instruction manual. The instruction manual is obviously smaller in size than the original version of the game, and there are a few updated mechanics, a few added mechanics. So if you are familiar with On Deck Baseball, you're going to want to check out the manual for the new mechanics. There will be separate videos for those as well. Everything is on here. I know the print is small. I can do PDF versions by request for people that have already purchased the game. You're going to have your 2 dice. They are D10s. I do order these special so I can actually get the 10 on the die as opposed to a 0. So they are 1 through 10 on each a red and blue die. And then you're going to have your situation charts and cards and the pitcher's cards that will come only with the Pro Starter set. So the Pro Starter set is definitely the point of entrance to On Deck Baseball Pro. What you're going to have here is your durability rest check for before the game. So if you want to utilize this, if you're playing out a tournament, this will dictate whether or not certain players need to be rested and won't be able to start that game. You're going to have your situation matrix, which does look a little bit different from the original game. There are no injury grades. Injuries will come in batches of 1 to 5 games. Try not to do prolonged injuries. For anybody that wants to do a replay, that means that you guys would be setting up how often a player will play according to what rules you have within your own league. The situation charts are front and back. They go from the batter, they have a bunt chart, and then pitcher all the way to right field. Front and back 1 through 10. And you roll on a situation matrix to see which fielder or batter that would be going to. You roll a red and blue die, and then obviously 1 is pitcher and all the way through 9 for right field, and B is for batter. Now, with the player cards, you do get pitcher hitter cards in this set. For those of you that are familiar with On Deck Baseball, you'll be familiar with these cards. They are modified a little bit to reflect a little bit better statistical reference going forward for these types of games. And then you will be going into the teams. As I mentioned, the teams already, you have 75 Cincinnati, which you're going to have familiar players like Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan. You're going to have 75 Boston, which is going to have Carl Yastrzemski, Cecil Cooper, Carlton Fisk with that famous shot. Then you're going to go into 1939 New York American League, and we all know who the star of that team was. We'll go ahead and find him here, Joltin' Joe. Next up is 1969 New York NL with a young Nolan Ryan. And we all know who the ace of that staff was, Tom Terrific. We're going to head over now to We Are Family, 1979 Pittsburgh. This team has some exciting players with Willie Stargell, Ed Ott behind the plate, Dave Parker, Bill Madlock. Some great players there. And we have 1985 St. Louis NL, a young Todd Worrell. And then you got the Wizard himself, Ozzie Smith, Willie McGee, Vince Coleman, Base Thief, Andy Van Slyke, a lot of young players, Terry Pendleton, a lot of young players that came up with 85 St. Louis. So those are the teams that are included within the Pro Starter set. Those are the situation cards, the charts, and the pitcher hitter cards, the instruction manual, and the dice. There will be other sets available as well. The History's Best of the Best, which will have 8 teams per set, on average 22 players, and then the playoff replays, which will come with 6 teams and full postseason rosters, about 25 players per team. So those are the sets. That is the Pro Starter set in depth. We'll go over the other sets as well in a different video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys will enjoy this set. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And as always, thank you for joining me.